Hey guys, Kudus Campbell here for TheButtonSmashers.com, and this is our review for Remember Your Nature. The first few pages in this manga should be read after completing the volume, so start with the page labeled Chapter 1 and complete the story. It's not a long volume, so it should be fairly easy to complete in one sitting, as I did. R.u.N, or Remember Your Nature, is a story about a French-Japanese teenager named Jean Liam, who has recently moved from France to Japan with his Japanese mother, only to then get caught up in some parkour-related shenanigans. We're not given any info about Jean's father, which is something I assume may be addressed in future volumes of this manga. All we're given about the character is his age, 17, and that he has a passion for parkour and manga. Jean is what I would consider to be an impetuous character, similar to the likes of Naruto and Luffy. He's the kind of character that you can get behind, and it's not just because of his nature. You see, with most manga characters, it's hard for fans outside of Japan to relate to them initially, but Jean is French. He's like us. He's a fan of manga from a Western country who happens to move to Japan. This simple fact made Jean a lot more likable to me, and I know that foreign characters are common in manga, but keep in mind that those characters are created by Japanese mangakas, and they always tend to be a bit strange if you ask me. Most tend to be a tad bit unrealistic, as if suffering from the uncanny valley effect. Jean doesn't have that. He seems real and tangible. As for the other characters in the book, they too seem natural for the most part. If I had to pick one character that was a bit cliche, it would be Jake, a tough black guy type character that Jean meets in chapter 4 of the volume. This is especially apparent when you find out what he does outside of parkour. I won't spoil what it is, but if you start listing black stereotypes, then you're sure to come across it in no time. That being said, I didn't dislike the character. In a way, I found him to be sort of a comic relief for the characters that he kept company with. The other characters were captivating in their own right, however, this is just the first volume, so a lot about them is still unknown. As a whole, the plot is cohesive and compelling enough that I'm eagerly waiting to read the second volume. What we got from the first volume is a setup for what can be an amazing series after a couple more volumes, with the first volume serving as an introduction for the characters and setting, a world where parkour is the means whereby individuals do battle. R.u.N also has a unique art style that grew on me the more I read. I'll admit that I didn't favour it initially, but the more I read, the more I began to appreciate it. I consider it to be a mix of Archie comic style mixed with some shonen manga flair. Characters have more rounded faces and noses similar to the aforementioned Archie comics. The panels are black and white as you'd expect in most shonen manga, and the line work is a bit rough. It's got that new manga feel to it, like the first Dragon Ball before the art got all super polished and refined. The manga also sports some fan service, but it was mostly reserved for a few panty shots of one of the characters. Who knows if this will be a focus of the mangakas in the future, but as an appreciator of fan service, I was pleased to see some in the book. This book is also a physical release, and this aspect is probably the only issue I had with it. The book itself is a bit larger than regular shonen manga, and for some reason the back cover of our copy started to detach by the time I was finished reading it. It should be noted that I am very careful with books when reading, and I think the reason our copy experienced that issue has to do with the quality of glue used to connect the cover to the pages. The pages are pretty high quality, and when it detached I didn't see much residue, hence my assumption. Hopefully this is an isolated issue, but I felt it should be mentioned just in case it wasn't. So with all that I've had to say so far about this manga, here's my final verdict. Remember Your Nature is a fine manga that transcends its origin. Don't think of this as a Greek manga, think of it as a great manga that happens to have originated from Greek mangakas. The character development in the first volume is enough to grasp the attention of readers who appreciate shonen style action adventure manga with a bit of slice of life. And yes, the art does take some getting used to, but thanks to the setting and writing, it should eventually grow on you like it did for me. And so I can easily recommend this manga simply based on the potential it holds. So if you have a slot in your reading list, this should be a good match to fill it with. Thank you very much for watching our review of Remember Your Nature. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave us a like and leave us a comment in the comment section below to let us know what you think about the manga. Also, if you'd like to see more content like this from us, make sure to subscribe to this channel.